You're gonna have. I better go. That'll be good.
Here we go.
Live from the Biz1190 studios in Buckhead, it's 70 degrees. News time is 11:06.
Broadcasting live from the Biz1190 studios in Buckhead, it's the Holtclaw Show. Build your best business. Now here's your host, serial entrepreneur and ink columnist Holtclaw.
Welcome to the Holtclaw Show. I am Holtclaw, and I'm on a mission to give you the tips, tools, and expert advice you need to build your best business. Do you have a question about building your business? Have you ever tried to build a product and put it into a store? You want to call in today, because that's what we're going to be talking about. The studio line is 404-231-1190, or you can tweet us by following me, Holtclaw, the station at Biz1190, or you can submit your question on my website, www.holtclaw.com. And I use the questions that are submitted to my site to help choose guests and to find experts. So I really am looking for, what do you want to hear about? What are the things that you're struggling with your business? You should all see, I'm going to start using Periscope. You should see the transition between the Dana Baird show and my show. It's like a fire drill, getting everybody in and out. So Kelly Burton, who is the CEO and founder of Bodyology, is my guest today.
Good morning, Eric. How are you?
Thank you. So glad to have you here. We got in here okay?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
She had like 3 people. We were running things around. So anyway.
I burned about 40 calories.
Just getting in.
Yeah,
yes, just
yeah,
getting
I'll
in.
take it.
So before we get started, I want to read a quote, and we're going to kind of go in and talk about what you do. So, quote is from Wendy Kopp. She's the founder of Teach for America. Change is not always a process of improvement. Sometimes it's a process of invention. When Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he didn't start by trying to improve the candle. He decided he wanted a better light and went from there. And I think that plays very well into your story and what you've done with Bodyology.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Bodyology, tell us where the product idea came from, give us the background, and then you've had such an interesting sort of experience with it.
Sure. So it's interesting that I run an apparel company because I don't have a background in apparel. I'm not a designer. I'm actually a social scientist, right? That's my background. When I graduated from Emory in 2009, I opened up a social research firm.
Okay, so what is a social research firm?
A social research firm, because when I tell people I'm a social scientist, they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
We evaluate social programs, right? So you think about your Boys and Girls Club or your YMCA, they're going to a foundation or government agency, and they're asking for $500,000, $1 million, multi-million-dollar grants. So we come in and essentially assess the extent to which that programming is effective and has made an impact.
Yeah, because money's not just given; it's given for, you've got to have some kind of outcome.
That's exactly right. Well, that's the expectation that
Yes.
you have.
And you were verifying that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my role is to come in and say, you hit this goal, you didn't hit this goal, and this is what you essentially need to do in order to meet the expectation. And so I had launched NRG in 2009, and after a year or so, I began experiencing these extreme symptoms. And I'm thinking, well, I'm just working hard, and my business is thriving, and I'm just stressed out. That's why my hair is falling out, and I have these heart palpitations and anxiety attacks. And turns out I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disease that targets the thyroid. And after I got medicated, one of the symptoms that just would not go away was the excessive sweats. So regardless of the situation or the circumstance, I was always overheating. And I just found that when I was, out and having conversations with my clients and the like, it caused me to be very insecure, right? And I tried to find base layers to wear under my clothes, and I couldn't find anything.
Okay, I'm a guy, so tell me what a base layer.
A base layer is just like that undershirt you have on, right?
Okay.
And so I would imagine that the vast majority of men who are listening to this show put on an undershirt every day. You probably have 17 drawers of them, right? From the really crisp, clean ones, the ones that are falling apart. But that's not a part of a woman's wardrobe. But that's an example of a base layer. So typical women base layers are camisoles, tank tops, we call slip shorts that you wear under your skirt or your dress. Those are base layers.
Okay, all right. And so you were on a search for something that would help. Yeah. And one of the things that you were telling me when we were talking is I met you about a month and a half ago from a very good mutual friend.
Yes.
Yes.
Q.
And
Shout out to Q.
Q, yes. And you were saying that you were giving these very important presentations.
Yes.
You were in front of executives who were giving money.
Yes.
I mean, and it looked like you were nervous.
Yes, exactly.
Isn't it I don't know which one, never let them see you
Never
sweat.
let them see you sweat. That's
Right.
exactly right.
Exactly.
And so I remember this one time where I was running a little late, and so I was, hurrying. And when I got there, and I was probably maybe about 5 minutes late, I had to do a presentation. I already had the natural nerves that come with doing a presentation, but I was running. And I remember asking the woman at the hostess desk, I said, "Am I sweating? Oh my God, am I sweating?" She's like, "Just a little bit."
The lady that was being nice.
That's exactly right. If she says just a little bit, that means I'm really, really sweating. So, I had enough of those instances. In addition to that, I saw other women going through the exact same thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So, because,
Right.
You had the problem, and we
Yeah.
always talk about, and I've written several times about this, don't start a business unless
That's
you're
right.
solving a problem,
That's right.
and a problem for a big enough market.
That's exactly right.
You had identified that it was a big enough market.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it was a health condition that caused me to launch Bodyology. But when you live in Atlanta in August, you're going to sweat. Hello. I mean, it's hot.
It's not humid here.
Oh, no. No, man. I mean, I see poor women walking down the street and they are melting.
Right.
It's hard to make it from your house to your car without your clothes getting sticky. And so Bodyology is designed to keep women cool, fresh, confident all day long. It actually infuses activewear technology. So if you think you go out and you buy, clothes by Under Armour or Nike Dry Fit or Lululemon, they all have what they call this wicking technology. So the innovation with Bodyology is that not only do you get to wear these base layers, but they infuse this activewear technology that causes you to dry faster, they keep you cooler, they modulate your body temperature. It's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
But you didn't have a background.
No.
You went to school at Emory.
All right, you're right. Political science.
Political science.
Political science.
Okay. Okay, so
Yes.
so then the leap here. So you
Yeah.
decide that you can't find what you're looking for,
Yeah.
and you're gonna create.
That's right. So that was very, very naive of me.
No, ignorance is an awesome asset.
Oh,
as
is that
far
what it
as
is? Is it?
It's
I
an
don't know.
awesome
I'm
asset.
not convinced.
It is.
But yeah, so me being, having a successful consultancy, and my consulting firm grew very, very quickly. So we hit our first $1 million probably in the 3rd year.
Yeah.
And so I had this big head that I had already grown a successful business. I can do this in my sleep.
Right.
But launching and growing a product-based business is so different than a service-based business.
It is.
They're worlds apart. Because a service-based business is all about you, right? It's all about you, building your brand, bringing on consultants that can kind of add value to your company and perform very specific tasks. And a lot of our business was word of mouth and repeat clients because I built that relationship and rapport. But with a product, that product needs to stand on its own, right? It needs to develop its own customer base, separate and distinct from you, from your personality. And so, that's been a major learning. But, it's fun.
Well, and in the service business, if I can find the people who want my services, I sell directly to them.
That's exactly right.
There's no middleman.
That's
When you're
exactly
talking
right.
about a product,
Yep.
you can have a website, but you also sort of make 2 sales.
That's exactly right.
Sell at retail, and then you got to get off the shelf.
Right.
And a lot of the people I've talked to who do kind of product that fits in a retail space say the challenge is not
Right.
often getting it on the shelf.
Right.
It's getting it back off the
It's
shelf.
getting it off this shelf. Well, so much of it is marketing. And for us, we're a new product category.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can claim to be a better mousetrap. We're a new concept altogether. So it requires a whole lot of education. When a woman sees...
Which is expensive.
Yes, it's incredibly
Educating the market is incredibly
expensive.
Yes.
I was watching this TED Talk, and the guy was talking about habituation. Is that how you say it, right? Where you get used to dealing with something, and so you push it to the back of your mind, and you don't really think about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we kind of filter out all of the noise, because otherwise we'd be processing this stuff all the time.
Yeah, you're talking about going through the grocery store. There are certain items and products that people purchase all the time, and they sort of don't think about those. Those are the hardest to make a change.
That's exactly
Because
right.
I just walk down and I go, yep, I always buy this, I buy this,
That's
I buy
exactly
this.
right.
How do you introduce something new that says, don't buy that, you want to buy this, because it's just a little better or it's different.
That's exactly right. It's very, very difficult because, for instance, women sweat all the time. I will talk to women and I'll say, I don't really sweat. I'm like, you got on antiperspirant, don't you? I bet you got on some deodorant. How do you sweat? But it's something that we don't think about. We push it to the back of our minds. I remember, and this has happened to me several times, I'm talking to a woman about the product, and she says, I've got a girlfriend that could absolutely use this product. But as she says that to me, she's fanning, right?
Right.
She doesn't realize that her body is hot, that she's overheating.
That is a hint, by the way. If you're doing customer discovery and someone says, "Oh, I have a friend who,"
Right.
or they are saying that about themselves.
Interesting.
Yes. So if they say, "Oh, I know somebody who could use this. I don't need it, but I know someone who could use it." They're actually talking about
That is
themselves.
absolutely fascinating.
We adults lie all the time, so
I bet you that's habituation too.
we impose it on someone else, but we're really like, or they'll say, "My friend wouldn't understand this,
Right,
but
right.
I do."
But I do. That's what they're saying. I'll get it.
Right. I don't get it. So got a little hint for you. All right. Well, very interesting. Well, when we come back, you've had some really cool things happen with this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more about that. I mean, really interesting kind of way that this has gotten to market.
Yeah.
With some mentors you've met. So you're listening to the Eric Holtclaw Show. We're talking today with Kelly Burton.
Yeah.
She's the founder and CEO of Bodyology.
I am.